I've learned a lot after racing plenty over the last couple of years. I've done three 100-mile races. I've done three or four 50-mile races. I did this 81-mile race in the Jupiter, Florida sand dunes, which was pretty fun. And I've learned a lot, and there's a lot of different strategies to be more effective at racing. But this is an underrated one that I'm going to talk about, and I think it makes a big difference, especially when you're in the race. It reduces a lot of mental and emotional stress. And this tip would be study your race course. And I'm sure you're thinking, well, no shit, right? I should know what I'm running. But I've a story that really helped me understand this and take this more seriously, because I think this could be overlooked by some runners. When I was running my first 50-mile race, it was a lake-to-lake relay in St. George, Utah, purely road race. And they had the different groups, so you could do 5-person relay, 2-person, 3-person, or just do it by yourself. And I'm an ultra guy, so I thought, why not? I'll just run this ultra race by myself. And so I trained for it, and I was prepared. I had already done, I think, 66 miles was my furthest run at this point, something like that. And so I was like, I can at least manage 50. Well, what happened was I go off, running. Obviously, I start the race, and they did the relay team. And obviously, because there's a relay team, the majority of people were way ahead of me, and there's a couple ultra people ahead of me too. And so as I got to different points in the race where there'd be a turn, at the beginning there was employees or city employees that were directing. They had a flag to kind of point us in the right direction. But as it got later into the race, like 25, 30 miles, because there was such a gap from me to the other people running, I would, like, at those certain corners, the employees started to disappear. And all I would see is like a flag laying down on the sidewalk or at a point in the trail to change directions. And so there was this one particular point, it must have been like 25 miles in, that I see this flag pointing to the left. It's laying on the ground, pointing to the left. And so I go to the left because that's where I thought I was supposed to go. I go for about a mile, and I realize I'm heading in the complete opposite direction of where I'm supposed to be going. So I turn around, have to make up that time. And then the same thing happens later in the race. So the race, I believe, had a 12-hour cap as far as the time. So if you didn't finish it within 11 or 12 hours, you'd be, disqualified. And so I get towards the end of the race, and there's probably 7 miles left, 6 miles left. And I'm running towards this lake where it finishes, and I see this employee, and the employee tells me, hey, go up and take a right. And so I go up and take a right, and I get to the top of the hill. I take a right, and I start to scramble up these cliffs, and I get to the top, and I realize again, as I'm looking over, I realize again I'm heading in the absolute wrong direction of where I'm supposed to be going. So I turn around, I'm pushing the time. I think I only have like 50 minutes 50 minutes at this point to go like 5 or 6 miles. And so I try booking it as fast as I can, and I know I'm just not going to make it. And so I get to the 50-mile point, at least where my watch said 50 miles, because I had been going off course, and I find some person camping in this little campground and ask them to give me a ride to the finish. So I technically didn't finish the race. I got 50 miles. But I, technically didn't actually finish it. I didn't run the whole course in time. So after this race, I was actually really pissed. I remember thinking, like, screw the employees. I don't want to race anymore. I'm just gonna do all these crazy ultras by myself without any official races. And I was obviously just being, I was just being upset because I was frustrated. Like, I just ran 50 miles and I didn't technically finish. And so as time went on and I came off my emotional high and wasn't as disturbed, I realized that I had to take responsibility for this. This was my fault. It was my fault that I didn't understand the course well enough, and that I was relying on other people in order to direct me, right? And so after that, I decided I'd be studying race courses very seriously, and if I can, running the race course, at least sections of it, as often as I can. Obviously, it's difficult if you're choosing a race that's far away, but for me, I've been doing a lot of local races, and so I've been getting familiar with the trails. And for me, why this has been so helpful is when you understand the course, and it could be as simple as riding on your arm right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, or something like that. Once you understand the course, when you're out there running, especially at the ultra distance, you don't have this mental battle of, am I going the right way? And that is so exhausting and so draining. I remember feeling that during a 100-mile race I did in Zion, and it was a trail race, and I remember there were points where I was wondering, am I going the right way? And that is just so exhausting, and it just really distracts from you being able to push. And anyways, I think it's just a valuable thing to be able to understand the course and let that not be a factor in your finish time, right? So I think this is something that's really valuable, obviously, and it doesn't take that much time, but if you take it seriously, I think it pays dividends when you're actually racing, reducing the mental stress of, am I going in the right direction? If you don't know who I am, I'm Reese Jones. I'm an ultra runner. I've set course records for a couple of ultras. I've ran 10 marathons in 10 days, 5 50Ks in 5 days, and I'm on a mission to just help people enjoy the sport of running, reduce their injury, and obviously get fitter and faster. So if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate your time. I know it's valuable, and I look forward to seeing you on the trails sometime soon.